my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be picking my February TBR. I have my board game and my 2 dice, and we're going to go ahead and roll for 8 prompts as usual. 1 dice will represent our columns on top, and then another dice will represent the rows on the sides. 2 and 5. 2, 5. Pet picks. We haven't had a pet picks in a while. So let's go ahead and get that set up for, I guess, Bixby to pick a book for us, because he was literally just here. He's playing right now, but we'll get him set up to pick a book for us. Okay. Originally was going to have Bixby be our helper, but one of my cats, Pippa, is just sitting here so politely on the counter, minding her own business. So I thought Pippa could help us out. So I have my little stack of books for her to pick from. I'm feeling romanticy, so I picked Violet Thistlewhite Is Not a Villain Anymore, River Enchanted, and In the Veins of Drowning. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these out for her. I'm going to move the cat's food bowls. I'm just going to lay these out for her in kind of like a line. I don't want it to be like super obvious for her which one to pick, and I have her treats in my hand so she knows it's snack time soon. Okay, she's sitting over on this side. Okay, no. Here. I'm going to give her a snack over here, so that way she kind of has to turn around. So she's eating a snack that I already gave her, and we have a snack on each of these books. Okay, eat a snack, Pippa. Eat a snack. River Enchanted. I kind of figured she'd go with the one in the middle, just because like that was directly in front of her, but I think turning around made it a little more interesting, because I did kind of think that Violet Thistlewhite Is Not a Villain Anymore might catch her eye. She's still not even looking at the treat, but we have picked our first one on our February TBR. Thank you, Pippa. Okay, so Pippa just helped us pick A River Enchanted, which is actually off of our Prairie TBR, so look at Pippa looking out for us. But this one, I don't know a ton about. I know we touched base on it in my Priority TBR video. I know that it leans a little less romanticy, and it goes a little bit more into a kind of like folklore-ish space. But I do know that it still features like a fantasy setting, and there's a romance kind of subplot in it. So I'm very excited to pick this one up. It's the first one in a duology, so we're technically starting another series, but I'll take it. A win is a win. Like, it still sounds great. Okay. So now let's go ahead and roll for our second pick. 6 and 4. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, less than 300 pages. Okay. I feel like we got a lot of less than 300 pages books in our birthday book haul, but I know I have a couple that I forgot were as short as they were. So let me see if I can find those in my stacks, and we'll pick out our options for under 300 pages before we narrow it down. So we have a couple of options. I tried to only grab the ones that were a little bit older on the TBR that I've had for a little bit longer, just because, like I said, I know that like my birthday book haul, we had like, I think 2 or 3 books that were at that like 290 page mark. So they could have been good fits, but I'm trying to prioritize the books I've owned for a while. So our first option is Only for the Week. This one is by Natasha Bishop, and it follows a girl who goes to her sister's destination wedding and has a little bit of a fling with, I believe, one of the groomsmen. Yes, the best man. Yeah. So it's only going to last for the week while they're at this destination wedding, and it's clocking in at 266 pages. So this one is a perfect fit. And then another one that is clocking in under the 300 page mark is Expiration Dates. And this one, we're seeing it at 256 pages. So a little bit shorter, but Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle, I think is how you pronounce her last name. And this one is about a girl who, whenever she starts dating someone new, she gets a slip of paper with her name and a date. And she starts dating a guy and she gets a slip of paper, but it just says his name. There's no date on it. So she's not sure what exactly that means. I don't know, between these two options, I feel like this one's going to be leaning a little bit more like literary fiction, women's fiction, whereas this one's going to be like a true like rom-com, and it also is like a destination-y rom-com. So I think I'm going to be going with Only for the Week. I feel like I want something that is a little bit more like destination vibes. We're getting into kind of like the thick of winter here in the Pacific Northwest, where like it's actually getting like colder and foggier and like super gross weather. So I think it'd be really fun to read something where they're like literally on a tropical island, like in their bikinis all the time. So I think this would be super fun, and I'm super excited to add it to the TBR. And now it's time for roll number 3, 3 and 6. So 3, 6, black on the cover. Okay, I feel like we've gotten this one before, and like I didn't struggle, but it was not the easiest prompt. So let's see what black on the cover we can find. I feel like that's probably going to lean more fantasy. And I'm trying this month, since it's February, to read mainly romances. I think I read mostly romances anyway. I've been kind of straying from like lit fic, from like mystery thrillers, but like specifically because it is February, I think it would be cute to have like a fully romance themed TBR. And then I also am trying to include some of my prompts for future upcoming videos. I have a video I'm going to be filming the first week of February, and then a video that I'm filming the second week of February that are both reading vlogs, since I haven't done a reading vlog in a really long time. So that would be super fun. So let me see if I can fit maybe one of the titles from those reading vlogs will have black on the cover. We'll take a peek. I feel like we're continuing the trend from last month's TBR, where I only had like 2 to 3 options per category, and like that really like helped me out a lot. And so with this one, I went with 2 of the books that are going to be in one of my reading vlogs that I'm going to be doing later this month. So our first option is Long Live Evil. I know I literally was just talking about how I wanted like most of my reads to be in like the romance space. I don't know if this one even has like a subplot of romance, but I know it's about a girl who like wakes up in her favorite video game as like the evil villain, evil queen kind of character. So there's a lot of black on this cover. And our other option is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I know that this one is a like trad published Hermione fanfic, and it leans more into the like rom-com space of it all. It's a little bit less based in the fantasy world and a little bit more like funny, giggly, haha. It's part of a duology again. So like if I read it, I can just like jump into the second one when that comes out later this year. So this is another option. And these are the 2 that are on my list for books I want to put in that vlog. So I feel like it kind of makes sense to go with one of these 2 since they do have black on the cover. I am leaning a little bit more towards The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, just because I do think this one is going to just like naturally be like a good read. I'm really excited for it. I've heard the audiobook is super awesome for it. So I think that I'm going to go with The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. So now we're rolling for prompt number 4, 2 and 6. 2, 6, most recent purchase. I can get with that. I like this prompt. My most recent purchase is actually Riftborn by, I believe it's Greenwich and Lennox. I went to my local indie bookstore, Beguiled, and picked this up because my friend gave me a gift card for my birthday. So this is the book that I purchased the most recently, and I'm super excited to add it to the TBR. I don't know really anything about it, just that every time I'm on social media, someone's talking about it. And it sounds great. Like if everyone's talking about it, I want to read it. So I know that it is getting picked up for traditional publishing like later this year. So I have the indie one, but I'm very excited to put it on the TBR. So on to prompt number 5, which is 3 and 2. 3, 2, lit fic. Immediately after saying I wanted to have a ton of romance on this TBR. Lit fic. Like, okay, great. This is a tough one. I feel like I say this all the time. I don't have that many lit fic books. Let me take a look at the shelf and see what I've got. So I'm back, and I've decided to go with Rouge by Mona Awad. I feel like this and The Women are the last 2 kind of like major lit fics that I have that like aren't a stretch. Where like, you know how like we did In My Dreams I Hold a Knife as like lit fic. And like technically it was lit fic, but also like it was also like a mystery thriller kind of thing. I feel like lit fic like can't fit in other genres, like truly. So like this and The Women are like my only options, and I'm not reading The Women like anytime soon. Like I feel bad. I got it at a book exchange. I told my coworker I was going to read it. He's super excited for me to read it. I'm scared. I'm scared to read it. I know it's going to wreck me. I know it's going to make me cry. I don't like that. But like I should read from other people's perspectives to like gain empathy and stuff. But we're going to go with Rouge by Mona Awad. I don't know really a ton about this one. I say that all the time. Don't listen to me. But I know that this one follows a girl who, I guess after the passing of her mother, is like going through her mother's things. Yeah. And it is Snow White meets Eyes Wide Shut, which I know Snow White. I don't know Eyes Wide Shut. So we're just going to go into this and see how we feel, see what's up. Okay, so that was rule number 5. So now let's do 6. Okay. 1 and 1. I don't think we've gotten the very first square on this thing ever. So that is purple on the cover. We did get this one. We got purple on the cover when we got Blood Like Magic. And that was like the only purple cover I could find at the time. And since then I've been like, I have a lot of purple covers actually. And I was just blind. So because I know I have more purple covers than just like the one that I found that one time, let's start looking at the shelves, see what purple covers we have, because I know they're here. They're hidden, but I know they're here. So we have a good little stack going of purple on the cover that could work for this prompt. Most of them are romance, and oddly enough, most of them aren't F1 romance. I don't know who I need to talk to about that, but like, I want to know why there's so many F1 romance covers with purple. It's just kind of odd. But the first one is My Vampire Plus One. This one is the sequel to My Vampire Roommate. That's all I've got. The next book that had purple on the cover, I'm worried this is going to read blue on camera. It does kind of read blue on camera, but I promise it looks very purple in person. There's like a lot of like tones of purple in this. Like there's some blue. I'm not going to say it's not blue at all, but there is also a lot of purple on here that's just not really picking up because I feel like it is showing up as more black blue. But there's some purple on here. Until the Stars Fall. I don't really know a ton about this one again. So it says, the last time a Fae King took a human bride, it started a war. This time it could prevent one. One of the few humans at the palace, like, L-I-E-K-E, like, has served the royal family her whole life, enjoying their protection from the Fae who hate her kind. Unfortunately, nothing could protect her heart from falling in love with her best friend, the prince. Even if he returned her love, he could never marry a human, let alone a servant. But holding on to her mother's words that love can conquer all, she refuses to give up no matter the cost. So it seems kind of like she's going to have to marry. Oh. Okay, maybe I do kind of want to read this one because it's best friend's older brother. The older brother prince steps in to save her, which sounds kind of cute, sounds kind of fun. We already have a lot of romantasy. I think we're at 4 romantasy and 1 like regular romance. So I'm less leaning towards either of these options. Like Vampire Plus One and Until the Stars Fall are both kind of in that romantasy space. And I don't really know if that's what I want to add to the TBR. And now let's get into our F1 romances, which like I don't really know why there are so many with purple. Like 2 is not that many, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? Yeah. So our first one is Ride With Me. This one's by Simone Saltani, and it is the sequel to Cross the Line. So this one is a marriage of convenience that happens, I believe, after a night in Vegas is what happens. Stella Baldwin is the baker that the main character in Cross the Line is like super obsessed with. She's supposed to get married, and I believe her wedding gets called off where she catches her fiance cheating. So she goes to Vegas anyway and ends up like getting married too, or yeah, it looks like she gets married to Maxwell, Thomas Maxwell, who is a fellow racer in the F1 circuit, who we were introduced to in the first book. We don't get a ton of glimpses of him because he's not the MMC's like partner person in the first book, Cross the Line. We're kind of introduced to him as like a secondary character because like he's just chilling, doing like racing interviews, and that's how we know him. But I am very excited for this one. And then the other one is Off Track. This one is by Isha Patel. And I honestly don't know anything about it, and I have not heard anything about it, which is kind of what made me pick it up. I believe I got this one when one of my local Barnes and Nobles was like relocating. They were like not that close to me. I believe they're almost an hour away, but they were doing like a big sale so they would have less books to move to their new location. And so I said, say less. I took a little day trip to like the area that they were and picked up a bunch of books for like a deal. So I'm pretty sure I got this like 30 or 40% off and just haven't thought about it since. So it looks like we're following Formula One's first female race driver this century. And her seemingly kind of sexist partner who thinks she's going to get in the way of his goals. That kind of sounds yucky. I don't know. Maybe this is a good time for character development, but also like he doesn't want a woman to get in his way. Like, shut up. Yeah, so it says the perfect slow burn, rivals to lovers romance for fans of Hannah Grace and Allie Hazelwood. And that's kind of what intrigued me. But I also have been really, really wanting a marriage of convenience. Like, really bad. I don't know how to explain it. I just have been like having that itch. I haven't had a marriage of convenience story in a very long time. So I think we're going to go with Ride With Me by Simone Saltani. So that was book 6. Let's go ahead and roll for book number 7. 3 and 4. 3, 4, standalone. Okay, we like a standalone. I think I'm going to go and try to go with a romance standalone. Just because, again, only 2 romances and I think 3 romanticities. So I think finding like a true romance standalone is probably our best bet. Okay, so for a standalone in the romance genre, we do actually have 2 options. Fingers crossed that stays that way and these don't become the start of a series. But I feel like they've been out long enough that I feel like if there was a sequel, it would be announced. So the first one is The Love Wager. This one is by Lynn Painter, and it's also on our priority TBR for 2026. So this is a good option. But the other option, since we don't have any sapphic reads, I was thinking Here for the Wrong Reasons would be a really good fit for that. And it's not a part of a series. It's like a full standalone. It came out in 2024 and there's no like talk of a sequel. So I think we're safe with this one not being part of a series. I think this would be a good one. So I think I'm going to go with Here for the Wrong Reasons. I know I should be reaching for things on my priority TBR. I'm well aware, but I already have one book for my priority TBR on here. So like I might as well like venture a little. And like I said, I don't have anything sapphic on the TBR this month, which feels like wrong. So I feel like Here for the Wrong Reasons would be a good one. So that is our 7th pick. So we just have one more left. Okay, 6 and 2. 6, 2, YA. So a young adult. This might be where we get something else from the prior TBR on this month's TBR. Give me a second. YA. Both picks are coming from our priority TBR. So look at me doing my priority TBR. So the first one is The Summer of Broken Rules. This one is a young adult romance about a girl going to Martha's Vineyard with her family for the first time after her sister passes away. And then we have Tokyo Ever After, which is about a girl whose father is actually the Prince of Tokyo. And so she like goes to be a princess. It's like the Princess Diaries, but kind of like with a spin and reimagined. But I think we're going to go with Summer of Broken Rules because again, I want like a cute like summary like to remind me that there is life outside of the dreary, gross Washington weather. I think it would be super fun to have this one on the TBR. It's a relatively like not super thick, but like also not super big. Yeah, it's only like 350 pages. So like I feel like I can knock this out pretty quick. It's YA, so the font is huge. So I think we're going to go with The Summer of Broken Rules for our final pick. So to review the TBR for February, the first book is Summer of Broken Rules. We picked for our YA pick. For our standalone pick, we went with Here for the Wrong Reasons. A book with purple on the cover, we ended up doing Ride With Me. We got the prompt of a literary fiction, so we picked Rouge by Mona Awad. My most recent purchase was Riftborn. A book with black on the cover, we went with The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. A book under 300 pages, we went with Only for the Weak. And to round out the TBR, we have A River Enchanted that our pets picked. Here is the final TBR. It's so heavy. Here is the final TBR. Looks like we got a ton of pink and black and white. Seems to be like our primary colors with like a little bit of purple and blue just like thrown in. It kind of matches my sweater. Like now that I'm looking at it, the purple and the black are the only thing that aren't on my sweater. There we go for our kind of Valentine's Day themed February TBR. I'm glad that we ended up getting a lot of romance, a lot of romantasy, that one random lit fic thrown in there, but it works. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. I'm going to have a good time. And I will post this. And then the next Wednesday, will be my January wrap up. So we're not doing them in one video anymore, which is still weird to think about. But oh well, January's not over. We still have like a full week left of January. I'm filming this on the 24th. So it feels like we have like a ton of time left in January. And that TBR is going swimmingly. So I have faith in this one being a good TBR. We got a ton of books from videos I'm hoping to do. So that's very exciting. So if you made it to the end of the video, leave the heart emoji, particularly the like pink twinkly one, if you feel inclined. But any heart emoji works. We're not prejudiced around here. So I will leave you with that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. What do you have on your face? You schmutz? Okay. Let me fix my hair. My hair looks crazy right now. Okay. There we go. My hair is just all over the place right now. Okay. I have the hiccups. My hair looks funny. My official most recent purchase is Riftborn, I believe. Yes. I had to like look in the camera in the viewfinder. That was embarrassing. Okay, I think we have time to do one more roll before my camera battery dies. I remember now. We got this one for, I think that was when we read. Okay. I feel like I just keep petting myself. Like there's gonna be so many clips I'm gonna have to edit out of me just like brushing my hair. Let me organize this stack before it looks like super crazy. Actually, we'll review the TBR before I organize the stack. The Summer Broken Rules for our YA prompt. I held that in front of my face when I was talking. Okay, now I'm organizing it, and now it looks crazy. Oh my god, okay. Let me get my stuff together. That was scary. We'll use this for the thumbnail if I can get my hands to not look crazy. A lot of romance. I'm gonna move this so it's not my face.